Yo, what's up, guys? In this video, you're going to see a recording of me training a beginner in high-ticket sales on how to objection handle. Prior to this video, he had watched a few training videos on objection handling, but when it comes to getting better at sales and really developing the skill sets, watching videos doesn't really cut it. You have to role play, make mistakes, pause, take feedback, implement that feedback, and then do it again, right? And in this 1 hour recording, you'll see me take him from basically just being bad at objection handling to being able to go through a full call and turn a no into a yes. If you don't know who I am, my name is Misha. I've done a few $100,000 in commissions annually as a closer over the last 6 years. And I've also managed sales teams that have been responsible for multiple tens of millions of dollars in revenue. In this video, you're going to learn two main things. Number one, you're going to learn my universal objection handling framework. So it's basically a framework that you're going to be using with every single objection. It's going to make handling and overcoming the objection 10 times easier. And then you're also going to see how we actually overcome these objections when it comes to the think about it objection, when it comes to the lack of belief objection, someone who doesn't think they can see results, and then also the discomfort and fear objection. Okay, so it is a longer video. Stick it out, get down some notes, implement this to your sales calls, and I guarantee you're going to make a bunch of money because of it. I'll see you on the inside. Peace.
Yeah, so when it comes to the investment, you'd be looking at a total price of $5,000.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of around what I was expecting. What I'd like to do now is kind of just maybe take some time to consider this and think it over. Can I get back to you with this number?
Yeah, I mean, that's not a problem. I mean, how long do you think you'll need?
Maybe about today's Wednesday, maybe by Monday of next week.
So until Monday, you're saying, yeah?
Yeah.
And I mean, just out of curiosity, Misha, over the next couple of days, over the weekend, what would you say the biggest things that would be coming up for yourself in that time period?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, nothing in particular. This sounds like exactly what I'm looking for from a support system. And I've been looking to, for a program like this now for a little while. It's just, it's a big investment. So I like to, I don't want to make a rash impulse decision. I would just want to take maybe a few days to, consider this and really make sure that it's the best move for me before I give you. You said it was how much? 5K?
Yeah, 5K.
Yeah,
I mean, I get it, honestly. Honestly, I agree with your approach, planning out, making sure you're making the right decision. And then, just out of curiosity, Misha, putting the money aside for a second, besides that, do you think there's anything else that would be holding you back from taking any action?
So I repeat back what I just said. Gotcha. So it sounds like you're all in. This is what you mentioned you're looking for. You just don't want to feel like you're making an impulsive decision.
Oh, okay. So with mirror and defining, we can also use that in objection handling. Okay, shit. I didn't. Honestly, I never knew that was a thing.
Yeah, bro.
Okay. So from what I'm hearing, anyways, but it looks like you're kind of confident in the results that you can achieve with the presentation and everything we got into.
Hang on. I didn't say that. It was close, but I didn't exactly say that. Right? Okay, cool. So it sounds like this is exactly what you're looking for. You're comfortable with the $5,000 investment. You just don't want to make, I think you said, a rash decision, right?
Okay.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, man, same page. The last thing I would want you to do would be to come to a rush decision and join something that actually isn't for you, right? Let me ask you this. Just all of that aside for a sec, when it comes to the business model, great. Are you going to put in the work? Great. And then
Okay.
Hit that exactly. Say exactly what I just said, and then hey, 100%. I'm on the same page. The last thing I would want you to do would be to come to a rash decision and join something that is actually for you, right? Let me ask you this, and try to calm down a little bit, speak a little bit softer through this. Let's just repeat that little section right there.
Right.
Say aside from the money, is there anything else?
So aside from the money bit, what do you want me to mirror and define and then follow up with that? Yeah.
I'm gonna isolate. I'm gonna respond, and then you can repeat it back.
Okay. So aside from the money bit, would there be anything else holding you back?
Honestly, no. And to be honest, the investment. I mean, I was expecting it to be something like that. So that's something I'm comfortable with. I guess it's just before I part ways with $5,000, like I just don't want to feel like I just met you 30 minutes ago. I just don't want to feel like I'm making an impulsive decision. I just, with things like this, I like to take a little bit of time, just let it all soak in. But before I move forward with it.
Yeah. So by the sounds of it, like it's really a case where you're comfortable with the amount, but it's really you need some time to reconsider making that decision instead of kind of jumping in and making that kind of impulse decision by the sounds of it. Because
Yeah, exactly. That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, because I mean, like, I'll be honest with you, Misha. That's something I don't. That's the last thing I want. You making an impulse decision, getting into something that you're not fully committed to.
But hang on,
And
go like you're too casual. Be like, gotcha. And Marty, by the way, like the last thing I want you to do would be
okay,
to make an impulsive decision on this.
Misha. So, like, the last thing I would want you to do is make that impulse decision and get into something half committed. Because let's be real, like, if it was the case, you just wouldn't get the results. So
Right.
let me ask you, Misha, like, is this something with everything we covered in the presentation, is something you want to be a part of?
Yeah. Honestly, yes, I do.
And is this something you can actually see yourself long term getting the results you want?
Yeah. For sure.
And I mean, like, because like I'll be fair, like there will be times when things will get difficult, and in those times when they do get difficult, are you 100% confident you will be able to overcome those hard times and continue on the path
Oh
to
yeah,
your success?
for sure. And like I get how this is, right? Like at the end of the day, like it can be you guys can do a great job on your side, but like if I'm not showing up and putting in the work, I'm not going to be successful. So like I 100% understand that. Like I got to pull my weight on my end to make sure that I get the results that I want.
Yeah, because that's really all it comes down to. Because from what I've seen, in my experience at least, there's really kind of two people that come into this game. There's the people who are serious, and then they're the ones who see it as a side hustle. From everything we've discussed in this conversation, Misha, by the sounds of it, at least, you seem like you're serious and you're looking at this as a serious business model that can really change the trajectory of your whole life.
Mhm.
So, with even all the successful prospects or the successful candidates we've had, like, in your opinion, like the ones who did succeed and the ones who didn't, what do you think like the biggest outlier was for them?
Okay, well, hang on. You're getting into
Yeah, I'm jumping a bit because I don't know where to kind of navigate in this kind of
so
territory.
sure. Okay, fine. So like great. You objections was sorry, commitments was kind of off, right? So hey, when it comes to like, yeah, gotcha, for sure. And like, Marty, let's just roll through it. The last thing I would want you to do would be to, join this on an impulse, then you find out it's not for you. So I think we're on the same page there. Let me ask you this. When it comes to, Amazon FBA as a business model, is this something that you're committed to and you see yourself doing big picture?
I mean, yeah, everything we've covered in the presentation makes sense, and for sure, I can see that getting the results I need with it.
Right. I'm more just asking like because you can get results with any business model, right? Like I'm more asking like, when it comes to the business model itself, is this something you could really see yourself getting behind and something that aligns with what you're looking to do long term?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, gotcha. And obviously, with everything I just described, right? Like there's going to be there's a lot of support, right? But there's also going to be a good amount of work on your end, right? Group calls to attend, steps that we want you to implement, feedback that we want you to be getting on a weekly basis with our customer success team. I know you mentioned you have a pretty busy lifestyle right now. Like, do you see yourself like really taking full advantage of everything in the program?
I mean, yeah, like it will be difficult for sure on the time side, but I can definitely find that time, like a couple of hours a day for here and there for the meetings and so on, for sure.
Okay, there's going to be no problems there.
No, for sure, no problem.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we do record the calls, if anything. So you're always going to be able to go back on them if you miss anything. But yeah, I mean, I definitely want to see you there live, especially, given your goals and everything by the end of this year, right? But okay, cool. And let me ask you this: like, do you feel that hopping on live training calls 5 days a week with our team, having us, take you by the hand and implement the exact steps that have helped at this point dozens of students to be successful. Like, I do feel like you would have exactly what you need to get to that goal of 20 grand a month by the end of 2025.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it's a proven framework, for sure.
Okay, so usually right here, especially on a delay type objection or a smoke screen type objection, this is where you're going to add to your objection, right? You
Okay.
just said yes to all of the big things. Yes, I believe in it. Yes, I'm going to put in the work. Yes, I'm 100% confident I can see results. So it's like subconsciously, you're going to be like, well, fuck, I just said I want to like think about it and not make an impulsive purchase. Those three commitments, bro, that is your prospect's decision. You know, it's like,
Mhm.
bro, are you committed to sales? Are you going to put in the work to get better at sales? And do you feel confident you can get to your goal working within sales? Okay, great. Then you want to get into sales. You
Yeah.
know, like, do you want to get jacked? Can you show up to the gym? Are you confident if you showed up to the gym, you'll get results? Great. Then you've made your decision, right? So a lot of the times people they start adding right there, right? So like add something. Yeah, man. So you feel absolutely confident that by the end of the year, you'd have what you need to get to your goal for 20 grand a month?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think so.
Okay, so now it turns into a belief. Okay, hang on. You think so? What's going through your mind?
I mean, yeah, like with work and stuff like that being stressful the way it is, like I want to commit to this, but really, I think work will definitely get in the way of me kind of putting that focus into the business and actually being really committed.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. So what you're saying there, you know, again, mirror defining, what you're saying there is like you're confident in the business model and that you can see success with this, but like maybe you're not too sure about your schedule and whether or not you can even take advantage of the program to see the results. Is that right?
Yeah, schedule is one, but definitely like even like the responsibilities, because there is projected like kind of getting like higher roles and so on, getting promotions. So with more promotions, more I guess hours, more responsibility. So that's something that's definitely at the back of my head, I would say.
Right. So it's mainly like a time thing. Like you don't feel like you'd be able to take advantage of the program, or is there something else?
Um, Definitely the time thing, for sure, I would say.
Okay. Side note, this is 100% something I would have pre-handled.
Yeah.
But let's just assume that we did it. Um, okay, cool, gotcha. And it sounds like that's also, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the reason why you wanted to get into the business in the first place, right? So that you aren't forced to work and take on more responsibilities and more stress, and you can actually create some more freedom in your life, right?
Yeah.
But it's like that's the exact thing that's maybe getting in the way of you making that change. Am I understanding right?
I mean, yeah, when you put it that way, really, yeah.
Right. So it's like, you want to create more time and more freedom for yourself, but you don't really have the time and freedom to build the business to do it. Right. So it's interesting, but because I see this a lot, this happens a lot with a lot of students who schedule in here. And like usually what it comes down to is like either two things, right? Is either one, you say, hey, I have no free time. I have 0 hours in the day to commit to anything. I'm just going to accept the situation that I'm in and, keep going forward,
Hmm.
right? Or option number two would be to like we have to create certain sacrifices within your life, right? If you're not satisfied staying living on that kind of schedule, then we're going to have to cut hours back. We're going to have to, I don't know, maybe we can get creative here and we can put together a game plan for you. But let me ask you, like, are you comfortable like continuing to, work those crazy hours and all the stress and everything? Like, is that something you see yourself doing forever, or is that something that we need to change at one point or another?
I mean, yeah, long term, really, like I don't foresee myself doing that, really, not at this pace.
Okay, well, like, why not? Because I think most people would kind of just settle for that, right?
Yeah, like I mean, really, it's just me dedicating my whole life to that 9 to 5, and I mean, long term, it's like that's all there is to me, really. Waking up, going to work, and not even living life to its fullest, really. So that's really what I'm looking to change here.
Right, because listen, like we can make this happen, right? Like you've seen the types of results that our program has produced. It's a relatively straightforward process, but it's going to require that you find at least an hour or two on a daily basis to be working on your business, right?
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I mean, if you can't find that, then I wouldn't feel comfortable bringing you on board. Um, I mean, let me ask you, like, how can you find that time within your schedule to, get out of the position that you're currently in and get to where you want to be?
I mean, weekdays for sure, I can definitely do a couple of hours, whether it's in the morning, whether it's post work. Weekends, I'm definitely have more flexibility there in the
Okay,
sense
cool. And
that,
then we handle
yeah,
it.
yeah,
So, okay, hang on. Let's keep this focused to delay, right? So think about it, right? You go through the three commitments, right? Are you bought into the business model? Are you going to show up and put in the work? Once you do, are you confident you'll see results? Yes, I am, but like I said, it's a lot of money, and I want to sleep on it, consider it, soak it in, do some research. For sure, gotcha. So you just want to feel a little bit more, confident with this by Monday, right? Okay, cool. So do you remember in the video training, what's like the flaw in the delay objection? Like, what's the flaw in your prospect's logic when they say, yes, I want to do this, just not now, but I'm going to do it on Monday?
It's procrastinating really from making that decision. It's
What's
taking
like
that risk.
what's like the logical problem with procrastination?
It's I guess convincing yourself that you're instead of making the hard decision now, you put it off and you convince yourself, it's fine, I'll just make it later. But you get the same sensation of making that decision by putting it off instead of actually making it. So that's why it's always put off, put off, put off.
Right, right. So it's like that's exactly it. But like, here's how I would just phrase it a little bit differently. Is like, gotcha, for sure, for sure. Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? Is like whatever's holding you back right now from taking that step forward. And from what I've found is like that doesn't change with time, right? So it's like, I can call you back on Monday, I can call you back, next month if you want, but it's like that resistance and that feeling of uncertainty, like taking that first step, like that's still gonna be there, whether I call you back next week, next month, next year, right? So I mean, let me ask you, and then we get into figuring out what that is, and we overcome it.
Yeah, I mean, one thing, I guess, a question I would have, one thing that like stuck with me, like when we got into objections towards the start, is naturally when you drop that price, that's when the most kind of tension would be between the prospect if he's kind of indecisive, if he's not fully committed by that point. Like one thing with me is when I get into objections, I'm kind of wary of that, and it's the case where I'm like trying to sugarcoat the answers. I'm trying to kind of maybe like sway away from being like kind of direct with questions compared to myself in situation on objection handling. I'm more kind of Mr. Nice Guy towards objections, if you get me. So is that like a kind of bad, I guess, perspective to objection handling? And
Well,
should I
I
stay?
mean, you do need to be a little bit forceful, right? Where like instead of like, hey man, listen, like, like what's holding me back now is still going to continue to hold us back. Like,
Yeah.
whether that's next week, next month, next year, versus like, hey Marty, I mean, here's the thing, right? Like if parting ways with $5,000, makes you want to push this out right now. Like the reality is that's still going to be there next month, next year, or whenever. Like, I mean, let me ask you this: like, is there ever going to be a point where spending $5,000 for you is easy, no matter how long we wait?
No, it's
Right.
always going to be there.
That's the reason why we're getting into this, because we want to get you to a spot where you can slap $5,000 on the credit card without blinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. We got to build a business first, and to do that, we got to take action. We got to get the skills, and we got to get the training to do so. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, let me ask you, like, outside of like the investment itself, like, is there really anything else holding you back aside from just like that initial fear and uncomfort from taking action?
I mean, no, that is just that, I would say.
Okay. It's just like that nervousness, kind of that uncertainty, I guess, taking that leap of faith. Is that it?
Pretty much.
Gotcha. Well, let me ask you this, man. I mean, if like, did you think that to get to your goals of making 20 grand a month, walking out of that job that's been, eating you alive for the last 10 years, being able to spend more time with your family, live a life of abundance, like achieving all those amazing things, did you think you were going to get there without taking any steps that are uncomfortable?
I mean, no, for sure. Like the whole situation is uncomfortable, so that's the reason I want to get out of it.
Right, exactly. Right. It's like, what's the bigger risk, right? Like staying in the same spot forever, or taking a chance at building the kind of lifestyle that you want.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. So what do you want to do from here? Right, and then we close. So like delay, it's really just you just want to point out like the flaw. Like if I double down on delay, You go through the 3 objections and you don't find anything else. I'm like, yes, I'm all in. I just want to think about it. At that point, you say, okay, cool, gotcha. Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? Is like whether it's, today, next week, or next year, it's like whatever uncertainty is on your mind right now, like that's going to continue to be there, right? Like time doesn't really change that, right? At one point or another, we're going to have to face it, and you're going to have a decision to make.
So is delay almost like one of the kind of last conclusions you come to if you don't identify like a proper like objection, like for example, I don't know, like fear, money, and so on?
Delay is usually one of the first ones, and then it could be one of the last ones, right?
Okay.
So like it'll be like the initial thing that comes out, and then you'll usually get past it pretty easily, and then you'll get to like fear or something.
Mhm.
But then if you don't handle it properly, then they'll go back to, they just want to think about it, right?
Okay.
But yeah, you really just want to get to the core of like what it is, what they're uncertain, and then you want to handle it, right?
Mhm.
So let's just do that section. I'm gonna tell you, yeah, man, listen, I'm all in. It's just a big step for me. Like I just want to maybe like take a couple days just to consider, and then I want you to figure out, drop that little positioning thing, explaining that to me. Hey man, for sure. And like listen, like whether it's today or next month, next year, that's still going to be on your mind, right? At one point or another, we're going to have to face it. I mean, I guess like where's all the hesitancy actually coming from?
Okay.
That's going to be the real objection. Let's just do that little section of getting past, I just want to think about it, to the real objection.
So yeah, Misha, when it comes to
end off with the last commitment.
say that again.
Yeah, start off with the last commitment.
So Misha, like, do you see yourself 100% achieving the results with this Amazon FBA business to getting to that goal of 10K, leaving that 9 to 5, and really living the life you want?
Yeah, I mean, like it's crazy because like from everything that you've just said and explained, I don't see how I would, to be honest with you. It's just, I mean, it's obviously a big step,
Yeah.
it's a good chunk of change. And, I've never really taken action or like spent any money on something like this before. So, I would just want like maybe just like a couple days really just to like wrap my head around all of it, get like mentally prepared for it, and then hit you back from there if that's cool.
Okay. And just to pause there, would I like what you just said mirror define or just delve straight into the question?
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So okay, cool, gotcha. So like, in your head, like it sounds like you just want to kind of take a couple days here because you haven't really done anything like this before, and there's a little bit of like, is it fair to say there's a little bit of like fear and uncertainty that's on your mind?
Okay.
And then that's where you transition from think about it to now it's fear and uncertainty.
But we're fair on a okay, so that's the case then if I'm kind of almost labeling the kind of limiting belief to a sense. So do I not delve deeper? So for instance, if I say, okay, so by the sounds of it, it's a case where you definitely see the pros of the business course, but it's really a case where you don't want to make any kind of brash decisions. You really want to linger and make sure it's the right decision with, especially investing the amount of money that we're talking about here.
But hang on, that's not what I said. That's what I said like 2 role plays ago. What I just said was something different. What did I say?
So yeah, with everything we covered in the course, you like it, but you need time to think about it while making a decision.
There's something very specific that I said.
I missed it. Honestly, don't know.
Jonathan, Adrian, you guys catch it?
You needed some time to linger on it, dude. I mean, I just, yeah, I don't know if I caught like.
Yeah, you're good. I said I've never done anything like this before.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right, it's my first time trying something like this. So I just want to take a couple days, wrap my head around. Right.
Okay, so there's a lack of belief in confidence.
Yeah, it's like those. Okay. Well, like those words are really important, right? It's. I wouldn't say it's a lack of belief. It's fear. Right. Mm-hmm. I'm stepping into like the unknown. I've never done this before. It's my first time doing it. Like that's clearly fear. I've never done something like this before. I just want to take a couple days to wrap my head around. But right. So, okay, gotcha. So you've never done anything like this before. It's your first time investing into a training like this. So you just want to take a couple of days to feel a little more comfortable with it, right? Okay, cool. Is it fair to say that there's just some fear and uncertainty in regards to like taking a step like this?
So
Okay.
in this, okay, that's pretty much what it translates to. Then that's what I'm kind of just clarifying there with that.
Yeah.
I guess hesitancy and stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So by the sounds of it, Misha, you see the kind of benefits of the course, but in your own words, because it's kind of your first time getting into something like this, you really need some time to kind of linger around and think about it. So, I mean, would it be fair to say there's kind of like almost kind of fear and a bit of hesitancy there?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's kind of what it is. And it's just, kind of getting over that.
Yeah. And I mean, and then would I delve deeper now into like the belief and like a story just to kind of bring up that kind of belief? Or like, where's the kind of road go from here then?
Okay, gotcha, Marty. So, I mean, is it fair to say it's kind of just, some uncertainty and some, fear in terms of, making the investment and taking the first step?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, gotcha. And, I mean, do you see how, by the way, like, do you think that, I mean, we can push this out a week, we can push this out a month if you want, like, I'll take your call. Do you think that making an investment like this and taking that first step, do you think there's ever going to be a case where that's easy and comfortable for you?
I mean, no, that decision is always going to remain the same, whether it's today or a year from today.
A lot of times they'll be like, yeah, but it'll just be a little bit easier for me, right?
Okay.
They'll say
So
something.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like down the line it might be easier for me making that decision.
In what way?
I'd say I'll have more time to think about it. I might get my finances in place better. Um, so yeah, I'd say that's why.
Gotcha. Okay. And correct me if I'm wrong, um, but you mentioned you've been, this isn't something that, you just found out about today or even when you applied for our program, right? This is something that you've been aware of now for the last, 2 years. You've been thinking about making a change, right?
Yeah,
Right. So do you see how, that mindset of like knowing that we need to take a step and pushing it out into the future? Like, do you see how that's got you in the position that you're currently in now, 2 years later?
I mean, the way if you put it that way, yeah.
Okay. And if we, continue acting like this, like if every time there's a step that you need to take that's maybe a little bit uncomfortable, like if you, continue doing that every time you're faced with a decision, whether it's this or anything else in your business, do you think you're going to get to your goal of 20 grand a month, replacing your income, taking care of your family, everything you mentioned?
I mean, yeah, if I don't make this decision, really, then there's no way of me achieving that goal, really.
Right. Right, for sure. And like, listen, man, like part of being successful with Amazon FBA is not only having the right strategies and the skills to sell products online, but it's also recreating yourself and who you are. Right? Do you think that the version of you that got to where you are today is the same version of you that's going to get to again that end goal that we just talked about, or do you think you're going to have to reshape and change certain beliefs and behaviors that you have?
I mean, for sure, like I'm gonna have to whatever learn new skill sets, learn something new. So naturally, I'm gonna be a different person.
Right. For sure. Um,
So just out of curiosity, so we're kind of touching this like limiting belief, like it's almost like so something we do in challenge. So is it the case we're kind of almost kind of bringing back what we discussed in challenged? Probably we might maybe we didn't kind of address it properly back then, but the same limiting belief still kind of remains. And
yeah.
we're almost gonna bring it back to objection on why they haven't been able to get the results they wanted and how it's preventing them really.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Cool. Do you feel confident with handling, or maybe not confident, but like do you feel like you know how to go about handling
Yeah.
away from there,
For,
or do you want
for,
me
su-
to break it
for
down?
sure, I got some clarity on it because I was coming in with the mindset it's like for the last like objection handlings where I was supposed to kind of not put up any kind of fight to a sense that I wasn't supposed to create that sales resistance. But the fact that now I can actually like be open with it, like because that was the one thing that was really kind of uh, being kind of soft spoken almost. So the fact that I'm open to that, I know for sure that gives me much more kind of freedom of asking questions and so on.
Yeah,
But in
no,
terms
I
of this,
mean, at this point of a call, like, no, like go for the sale, bro. Like, no,
yeah,
don't hold back. You know, you've already built rapport. You've already done everything that you needed to do.
yeah.
Okay,
So
cool. Let's wrap that up. Um, ask me that commitment, the last one.
so like with so the 100% one, as in getting the results you want,
Yeah,
that one.
yeah.
So Misha, like with everything we discussed, like, are you 100% confident that you can actually see results with this Amazon FBA and actually getting to that 10K and leaving that 9 to 5 in the next 6 to 12 months and completely changing your life?
I mean, you know, like it's hard to say, like, for sure, you know, because I've obviously never done it before. But like honestly, like from everything you guys do and from what I've seen, like I mean, this seems as legit as it gets. Like I really don't see how I wouldn't, as long as I'm you know showing up and doing what I need to do and following what you guys are telling me.
Yeah.
It's just you know honestly like you know but because I think it is something I'm gonna do like for sure. You know, like I get it. Like I work in sales too. You know, like you never want to hear like the I want to think about it kind of thing. But like I just genuinely just really just want to take a couple days just to you know feel a little bit more comfortable with this whole investment, and then you know when I do, like, is it cool if I call you back?
I mean, yeah, not a problem. And like before we kind of just hop off the call, like by the sounds of from at least what you said to me, Misha, it's really the case where because this is some you see the pros and everything kind of resonates with you perfectly with this course at least. But it's really the case where because it's something new for you, you really need some time to linger on it and just kind of make sure it's the right decision you're making, by the sounds of it at least.
Yeah, you know, like I just don't want to, you know, just blindly throw 5K at this, and you know,
I hear you. And like and tell me, Misha, like would it be fair to say because this is like a new kind of territory for you, like would you say there's kind of almost like a bit of a kind of fear or uncertainty in that sense?
yeah, yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
Yeah, because like I'll be honest with Misha, I'll be honest with you, Misha. Like the reality is, whether you make that decision today, a week from now, or a year from today, like that decision really just always going to be there. Whether, like I said, but that decision will, yeah, fumble, but the back. All right, let me
you're
rewind.
good. You're good. Keep going.
So
That fear is still going to be there, right?
yeah. Okay. So, like Misha, like I'll be real with you. Like, really, it's the case where you make that decision today, a week from today, or a year from today. That kind of almost feeling that fear of making that decision is still going to remain there. So you can continue putting it off, like you pretty much have been for the last year or two. That's why you're
Hang on,
still
hang
in the
on,
sit.
hang on. Ask me. That fear it's still going to be there, right?
Okay. And I mean, like that fear of making that decision, it's still going to still be there.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard. I guess there's no way for me to do this without it, you know, making me want to shit my pants a little bit.
Because I mean, I'll be honest with you, Misha, like that's the reality of it. Like you said so yourself, you've been in this 9 to 5 for the last year. Long term, you just see getting more hours, more responsibilities, and just having no time to yourself. And you've been trying to find a way out for the last year. And by the sounds of it, at least you found a way, but you're trying to procrastinate making that decision and follow the way through because there's a bit of that fear. So it's really the case like, do you want to kind of remain stagnant and continue down that 9 to 5 route without making the decision? And I guess go down that route in your life, or you make that decision and completely 180 your life in the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you put it that way, I mean, you know, I gotta make a move at some point. It's and you know, it's not that I don't want to like do this because I do, and like I understand that, you know, I gotta because I don't want to stay at my 9 to 5. You know, like all I'm saying is like, you know, maybe rather than doing it right now, like doing it, you know, on Friday or something when I've
Okay.
taken a couple nights just to like really, you know, soak it all in. You know.
I hear you. And like, let me ask you this, Misha, like from today and until Friday, like, do you think like anything is going to change when it comes to making that decision?
I'll feel a little bit more comfortable with it. Yeah.
And when you say you feel more comfortable, like in what sense, what do you mean by that?
Not the best approach, just because now I'm going to get deeper into my own.
Yeah, you're gonna put up a sales kind of barrier.
Yeah, yeah. So, bro, same thing again. Okay, gotcha. So you know you want to do this, and you are going to do this. You've already made the decision. You just want to push it out until Friday. Is that right?
Okay.
And then from here, okay, cool. And you also mentioned, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what's been going on for the last 2 years, right? But like you've known that you've wanted to make a change, but you never really drew a line in the sand and said, all right, I'm going to change now. We keep pushing it off, right?
Okay.
Dude, you can call me back on Friday, but like, where do you think this mindset is going to get you? Like knowing that you need to do it, make a change, but continuing to push it out into the future instead of, taking action on it in the present moment.
All right.
Well, yeah, man.
So,
Listen, I want to do it, and I'm not saying like I don't want to take action. Honestly, I mean, I am going to do this. I just like want to take maybe like a day or two, probably like by Friday, and do it then, just to give me a couple days just to really soak it all in.
yeah. So by the sounds of it, Misha, it's really the case where you kind of wanna do this. You see the benefits, but you really want to push that decision now for a couple more days. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, yeah.
But like, I'll be honest with Misha, like from what I've heard with your story and what we kind of talked about, it's really the case where you've been trying to change your whole situation for the last year, close to 2 years, of leaving that 9 to 5 and finding a way out to get that financial freedom. And like we highlighted earlier in the conversation, the biggest thing that has been stopping you from achieving that is really making that decision and following through with it. Like you said so yourself, it was a case where you wanted to make that change, but when it came time to make that decision, you put it off and essentially were stuck in that cycle for almost close to 2 years. So by you putting out until Friday, are we just not repeating the same process again?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we are.
So I mean, like the question I'd have for you, Misha, like, is it really the case where you want to continue repeating that cycle again for another year, another two, staying in your 9 to 5 and really not changing anything? Or do you want to make that decision right now and completely change your life in the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, man. I don't know, it's just a big step, like spending 5K just like that. Like it's, I don't know. Can I have like maybe just a couple hours, man?
I mean, sure, I can give you the rest of the day, I can give you until tomorrow. Um, but again, the decision's still there, whether you make it right now or later on, Misha.
So now you just want to hit it from a different angle. Let me ask you, bro. Let me ask you. When was the last time in your life comfort zone speech? Right? Guys, you should have a comfort zone speech on fucking lock. I should be able to wake you up and shake you in the middle of the night, and you can drop a comfort zone speech.
As in from like personal experience or just like a story off the top of
Like
your head?
like a quick one. Quick comfort zone speech. Let me ask you, Marty, when was the last time in your life, whether that's with friends, family, finances, relationships, fitness, when was the last time in your life you saw a major positive change without doing something that made you want to shit your pants a little bit?
Damn. I mean, my biggest, I guess progressions and skill, I guess I grew the most when I was the most uncomfortable for sure.
Right. So what makes us any different, bro?
Damn. Yeah.
Like we can keep pushing the uncomfortable decision into the future as long as you want, bro. Call me back next year. I'll take your call. You're going to be stuck in the same spot. The fact that this is uncomfortable, that's the reason why you need to do it. Because you need to prove to yourself that you can step past that. And then that's where, the freedom actually lies. That's where you take control of your situation, man.
Hmm.
So what do we want to do? Do you want to continue doing what you've been doing for the last 2 years? It's gotten you nowhere, or do we want to take control?
Take control.
Cool, bro.
Okay.
Let's rock and roll.
All right. Let's run it back just before we finish up then.
Yeah. Let's run it back from the beginning, bro. Close the fuck out of me. And like just be like short and to the point. Like even when, so you repeated it back to me how like, okay, gotcha. So like, you want to do this, you just want to take a couple of days just to feel a little bit more comfortable with the decision, right? Right. And then you went on this big spiel about the last 2 years. All you got to do is, okay, gotcha. And correct me if I'm wrong, but hasn't that been the case for the last 2 years now? Where
Mm,
about 2 years ago you realized you wanted to make a change, and it's just been, circumstances and pushing it off into the future. That's the reason why we're on this call today. Right.
okay.
Okay. So like, do we want to just continue that cycle, bro, or do we want to take control? Right. So just like short, right, is going to be most effective.
Okay.
Cool. Let's run it back from the beginning.
All right. So, Misha, when it comes to the investment, you'll be looking at a total price of $5,000.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, that sounds good. I think what I want to do is, because yeah, that's basically what I expected. I didn't, I kind of told myself at the start of the call, and even when I scheduled this, like I don't know if I'm ready to, invest right now, but it definitely is something that I want to do. Can I, hit you up maybe in the next couple of days, to get it started?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we probably link back up on Friday. And I mean, just out of curiosity, like before we go ahead and do that, like you're saying it's something you want to do, but there's just some kind of financial aspect
Yeah.
of it. Is that what I'm
Yeah.
hearing?
I mean, not really financial. It's more just like, this is probably like, yeah, this actually is the first time I've ever invested this type of money into a program like this. Like I booked this call like last night, I'm meeting you here now for the first time. Like I just don't want to make like an impulsive decision that I might regret, which I don't think I will. I just, want to maybe take a day or two just to really soak it all in, before I, invest with you guys.
I hear you. So, by the sounds of it, because it's a case where you're getting into a new field, you really just need some time to kind of linger on it, and you don't want to make any impulse decisions by the sounds of it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like I've, there's been like there was a program a couple of years ago where I kind of did that, and yeah, just and like I don't think it'll be the same case here. Those guys were like pieces of shit, and like you guys are obviously legit. I just want to maybe take a little bit of time here if that's okay.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like Misha, like I said before we hop off, like, would it be right to say because this is something new you're getting into, like, would you say it's fair to say that there's a bit of kind of almost
Bro,
like
commitments.
okay? And I mean, Misha, like, uh, out of curiosity, like, with everything we covered in the presentation, everything we discussed, like, is this actually something you want to be a part of?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. Yeah. When it comes to like the program and everything, like, yeah, I've already made my decision on that.
And let me ask you, like, is it a thing where you're actually going to be committed, show up to the calls, be accountable to the coaches, and follow through with the action plan to get the results you want?
Yeah, it is like I am gonna have to move around my schedule a little bit, but honestly, like it won't be a problem. I can, I can be on all the calls, and if I miss any, I'll be able to catch the recordings. Those are uploaded like the next day, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean,
Yeah.
there's definitely an
Okay.
option for that.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
mean, like,
So like timing, I should be good for that.
cool. And like, Misha, like, let me ask you finally, like, would you say you're 100% confident that you can actually get the results you want of achieving that 10K per month with Amazon FBA and completely change your life by leaving that 9 to 5 and being
Yeah.
financially independent?
I mean, I guess it's like, it's hard to say like for sure, obviously, because I've never, done it, but I mean, it just like the way you describe the program, like it just seems like so rock solid. I just don't see how as long as I do what you guys tell me to do, I don't see how I wouldn't see results.
Yeah, so you're saying it's hard to say for sure, like by the sounds of it, there's a bit of kind of uncertainty in that sense. Like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm confident in the program. Like, don't get me wrong. It's just like I said, I've never done it before, right? So, I've never seen that result for myself personally. So it's kind of hard for me to like see fully right now, right?
Okay, so Misha, well, like, would it be fair to assume because this is like something new, there's a bit of that kind of fear and uncertainty in, I guess, taking those actions?
Yeah, exactly. You know, and like that's kind of why I just wanted to take a couple days just to, really just feel comfortable with this decision before I make it. Because like,
I hear,
like once I make it, I want to make sure I'm all in, like I don't want to waste your guys' time or like anything like that, So um
I
yeah.
hear you. And Misha, like, let me be honest here. Like, whether we make that decision today, a week from today, or even a year from today, do you think that fear of making that decision is going to be gone, or is it still going to be there?
Um I mean I guess it'll probably still be there. I just feel like, it'll just be a little bit more, I'll just feel a little bit more comfortable in that decision.
Yeah. So by the sounds of it, like you just want to put off the decision to think about it until you're kind of comfortable on making is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, like not necessarily put it off, just like I said, man, just take a day. Like we had this conversation, it was great. Everything sounds awesome. Just take a couple of days. Make sure everything is in order, make sure everything is good, and then make the investment and then rock and roll.
Okay. So by the sounds of it, you see everything perfectly, or you see the pros. You're happy to go with the course, but you just need some time to think on it. So like, let me be honest here for a moment, Mish. Like you've been in your current 9 to 5 for the last couple of years, and you've been trying to make this change for the last year or two. Like, so isn't this just the same scenario kind of repeating itself again, where you're putting off that decision?
Phrase that a little bit differently. Be specific, bro.
Okay. So like Misha, like I'll be honest here for a moment, like you've been trying to change your situation by leaving that 9 to 5, creating that kind of secondary income and replacing that income for the last year, close to 2 years. And the biggest thing for you that's been stopping you is making that decision because you kept putting it off when it was time to make that decision and you were kind of stuck in this loop. So is it not the case where you're almost back in the cycle again by trying to put this decision off until whatever, Friday?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess I understand why you say that and why it might kind of seem like that's the case. It's not that like I want to push it off or anything. Like, man, like I'm in. I just like, yeah, like I just literally just like 24 hours. And then I'll be good to go.
Yeah. Because at least from what we discussed, Misha, like I said, you're serious about you want the results. But let me ask you, come Friday, come to 24 hours. What if you do the same thing again? And you're just back in this loop, put it off for another year or two, you're still stuck in the 9 to 5, and you're still in your situation.
I won't. I won't. I'll I'll call you back and I'll give you a straight up decision, man to man. I promise you that.
So you're saying you want to put it off for 24 hours. Is that what I'm hearing?
Just bro. Uh, yeah. I mean, yeah. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Misha, I'll be honest, because like I said, it's my job at the start of the call. I said, I'll help you if I can. And this is me trying to help you here. I think you won't make that decision. I'll be honest with you. It'll be the case when the time will come, you'll put it off again. And it'll be the case where a year.
Don't say I think that's not gonna work. That's gonna throw me off. I'm gonna take that personally. I'm gonna yeah. Um, be like, okay, gotcha. And like let me ask you, Marty, like how many times in the last 2 years did you tell yourself, hey, I'm gonna get started this weekend? And then you got busy, something happened,
Okay,
and
okay,
you
okay.
pulled off. How many times has that happened in the last 2 years where you told yourself you were gonna do this, but you haven't done anything?
Yeah. Okay, okay. Yo, like Misha, I'll be honest, like you want to put it up for 24 hours, fine by me. That's on you. But let me ask you this, like in the last year or two, like when it's been on your mind, you want to make that change, you want to change your situation. Like how many times have you told yourself that, oh, I'm gonna start this weekend, I'm gonna start a week from now? And how many times have you actually followed through with that decision on doing that?
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I, definitely told myself that a couple of times and I haven't followed through. But like this time's gonna be different though.
Is it though?
Yeah.
Because like like for the
Go
last.
identity close. Go identity close. The version of you who's accomplishing all the fucking goals that you want.
Okay.
Do you think they're the kind of person who waits for tomorrow, or do you think they're the type of person who takes action today, regardless if they're a little bit uncomfortable?
Like Misha, like I understand you want to put off because you're confident you make that decision down the line. But let me ask you this: that version that's left his 9 to 5, has that 10K per month, living the life he wants, financially free. In this situation right now, do you think he'll put off that decision for 24 hours, a week from now, or would he just like sit there for a moment, let it soak in, and make a decision whether he's going ahead, change his life or not?
Yeah, I guess he'd probably be decisive and he'd, take a step forward, even if he's a little bit uncomfortable about it.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Misha, like, where do we go from there then?
What do you feel like you should do now then?
Okay. So let me ask you this, Misha, like, what do you feel like right now that you should do?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I gotta just, say fuck it and go for it,
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get the ball rolling then.
Finish off with like some power, bro, right? Because like I'm like, yeah, I guess I gotta, do it anyways. Gotcha. So Marty, what do you say, bro? Let's go ahead and take some action here.
Okay.
Like this is fucking power right there. Give me some conviction.
Okay.
But don't overdo it. You're about to overdo it. I can see it in your
I was getting loaded my fist and everything.
The Slav genes, bro.
All right, so where do we go from there? Here then, Misha.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I guess I got to do it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right, let's get that ball rolling and get you set
So
up on the system.
bro. So what do you say, Marty? Are you ready to go ahead and rock and roll?
So what do you say? So what do you say? All right.
So
I mean,
what do you say, man? You ready to go ahead and rock and roll?
what do you say, Misha? Are you ready to get the ball rolling?
Fuck it, man. Let's do it.
Let's get it.
Boom. Good. Solid. Cool. We like struggled through that, but I would bet if we did it one more time, like you would go through it. You'd nail it.
Yeah. It's just the reps. It's just the reps. For me, it's because the framework for sure was in place. The framework was a lot surface level. Now I realize with this specifically, there's a lot more kind of being more unique with the questions and being more specific with the prospect. So yeah, no, for sure. Like this was a valuable role play for me.
Yeah, so a couple things. I mean, number one, just like super simple, like bullet points that like all of you guys can implement. Just like really simple, right? Number one is like, yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. Well, mirror and define is number one actually, right? Just like repeat back what they're saying, right? When they say, yeah, listen, like, sounds good. I'm just gonna take a couple days just to wrap my head around it, and then can I hit you back? Okay, cool. No, for sure, of course, and it sounds like, from what I'm hearing, correct me if I'm wrong, but like you want to go ahead here and move forward. We just want to maybe take 1 or 2 days before we do so. Is that right? So it's like in a way, like, I'm calling out the limiting belief, but I'm doing it in like a casual way where like you're gonna accept it and you're gonna say yes. Right. So like, cool, man. So like what you're saying is like, you want to get into great shape and like go to the gym, but like you just don't want to go to the gym today. You just want to go to the gym tomorrow. Is that right? You see what I mean? Where it's like I'm delivering it. I'm being like super friendly and understanding about it, but I'm setting it up where I can like fucking, shit on you now for having that limiting belief, for lack of better words. Right. Okay, gotcha. But like, do you see how that's been the mindset for the last 2 years and we haven't gotten anywhere because of it? Like I'm setting that up with that as I'm repeating it back. You see that? That's what you were doing the entire time, and that's what you did on that role play a couple times, right? Okay, gotcha. So like you want to do this, but like it's your first time getting into it, so like we just want to take a couple days. Is that right?
Yeah, and tell me like so like because it's a delay, I guess objection. Normally, like you would handle it like in the kind of challenge bit in terms of procrastinating, not making that decision, and so on. So is it the case where because you handle and challenge like and when you acknowledge it, is it the case that it's less frequent to come up as an objection, like on calls and stuff like that?
Yes, it'll come up less for sure when you've challenged it, but it'll also be just way easier to handle. You know, like someone like as opposed to me being like, I have this rule that like I don't want to fucking do anything right now. I want to think about it. You know, like I'm not going to be so strong in that because you already broke down that belief earlier in the call and you got me to commit to moving past that. Right. So like you're going to be able to like poke holes through it. Like when you say, okay, gotcha. And like, isn't that what's been going on for the last 2 years? And that's why we're still in the same spot. So you might go, like when you just say that, we're going back to the challenge moment. And now I'm like, fuck, yes, that's exactly what we already spoke about. Yeah.
Yeah. I think one of the days me and Jonathan were role playing, and he says something along the lines where he got into like an IT job for security and like money and stuff like that. And then when I told him that, and one of the objections, like he was like, "Oh, I need to think about it," and stuff like that. And then it was something along the lines as well. It was a similar scenario. So I see definitely the value in like bringing up like that in the challenge bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Comes to objections.
For sure. So yeah, the just repeating back what you just heard, but like slightly rephrasing it in a way where like you'll be able to poke holes through it. Don't forget the gaining commitments, bro. Don't forget that. You forgot it a couple times. Yeah, like it's just so much because you say, yeah, listen, man, I just want to think about it. Okay, cool, no problem. Think about it. That's totally cool. Yeah, see you, bro. Yeah, that's totally cool. No problem. Let me ask you, and then like strong commitments to everything else, right? And then now we go and handle it. It's just way easier to handle now. You know, like in my head, it's like I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna handle this objection in a sec, but like before I do, let me just set it up so it's just way easier for me. Let me just gain these commitments real quick. You know?
Cool.
And then last thing. Yeah, let me just ask for the sale. Like, what do you want to do from here? What do you think you should do from here? You know, like put the fucking spotlight on me. You know what I mean? Like put it right in front of my face. Yeah, what the fuck are you gonna do here? You know, not the case. Like, what would you like to do from here? I might. There is a situation for that actually. But like, just keep it simple. What do you say, bro? You ready to go ahead and rock and roll? You know, just
but also you can also use that as like the ideal version one where it's the follow up. So what do you think like the best version of you 6 or 12 months down the line, like in this scenario, like what decision would he make? And you like follow up like, okay, so what do you think you should do now?
Right.
Yeah, and that's another one that I noticed worked well.
And like there could even be a bridge in between. Again, this all goes back to like beliefs and stuff, by the way, right? Because it's like just in general, like us as closers, it's like the closers in business and the sales in life. It's like something that like I've just like proved to myself like over and fucking over again. It's like you just need to start acting like the motherfucker that you're trying to become before you become him. You know, you just start acting like him because it tells your subconscious that you're becoming him. And then all of a sudden, like you start getting the results, and then you step into that next level version of yourself. You know, it's like that's literally the cheat code. It's like you just have to start acting like that motherfucker before you become it, right? So you know, when we're saying this on calls, it's like, okay, gotcha. So the version of yourself that you're trying to become, you know, that version of you who's the provider, the you know, father that you want to be, etc. But like, do you think that they would push off an uncomfortable decision they know they need to make, or do you think they would make the decision even though it's a tough one? Right. And that's the thing with becoming that version of yourself. Do you think that to get the kind of results you want to see, you're going to have to step into that next version of you? Great. So what do you think you should do right here? Right. Just lead them right up to that decision. Just guide them straight to the only correct response in that moment. Right. But like, yeah, bro, Marty, like just in that like hour, like you got a lot better.
Yeah.
objection handling. So this is solid. I'm glad that we set this up.
Hey, congrats on making it to the end of the video. Real quick, before you click off, if you want to get access to the closing framework that myself and my teams have used to generate over 40 million in high ticket sales revenue, we give that away completely for free. It's in the description down below. You can pick that up in the next couple minutes. Or if you'd like to learn more about what it would look like working directly with myself, doing role plays exactly like this, where we drill specific objections, buyer types, etc., you'll also find a link that explains what that program looks like down below. But anyways, that's all for this video, guys. I will see you on the next one. Peace.